Turkey, a land where ancient empires whisper through the stones, where two continents meet, and where the smell of freshly baked simit fills the air. You may think you know Turkey, its famous kebabs, Istanbul's skyline, and turquoise beaches, but today, I'm taking you deeper. These are 20 incredible facts about Turkey that most people don't know, and some of them might just blow your mind. Fact 1. The country that lives on two continents. Picture yourself sipping tea at a cafe in Istanbul. To your left, Europe. To your right, Asia, and all that separates them is the blue ribbon of the Bosphorus Strait. This is the magic of Turkey. It's the only country in the world that straddles two continents. The city of Istanbul itself is split right down the middle, with one half in Europe, the other in Asia. For centuries, this narrow strip of water has been one of the most important trade routes in the world, carrying silk, spices, and stories between East and West. Locals often joke that if you're running late to meet a friend across town, you can blame it on continental travel, even if it's just a 20-minute ferry ride. Fact 2. The oldest known human temple. In southeastern Turkey, a lonely hill hides a secret older than any pyramid, older than Stonehenge. Its name is Göbekli Tepe. Over 11,000 years ago, before pottery, before metal, people here carved massive stone pillars, some weighing over 16 tons, into circles. They etched them with animals, foxes, vultures, snakes. We still don't know exactly why. Was it a temple? A meeting place? A celestial calendar? Standing there today, you feel small, not just in size, but in time. These stones were shaped when humans were still learning to farm, yet they've outlasted empires. Fact 3. Santa Claus was born here. Forget the snowy North Pole. Santa Claus was born under the Mediterranean sun. In the year 270 AD, in the town of Patara, a boy named Nicholas was born to a wealthy family. When his parents died, he inherited their fortune and quietly gave much of it to the poor. One story tells of him tossing bags of gold into a poor man's house to save his daughters from slavery, with the coins landing in their stockings by the fire. Centuries later, Saint Nicholas's kindness evolved into the legend of Santa Claus, though here in Turkey, they still remember the humble bishop from Patara. Fact 4. Over 80,000 mosques. Turkey's skyline is a forest of minarets. More than 80,000 mosques call this country home. The most famous is the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, better known as the Blue Mosque. When you step inside, you're surrounded by 20,000 handmade blue tiles, each one unique. Light pours through stained glass, making the walls shimmer. 5 times a day, the call to prayer rings out from its 6 minarets, joining a chorus from across the city, a sound that's been echoing here for centuries. Fact 5. A city with 3 names. Istanbul is a city with layers of history and names. It began as Byzantium, a small Greek colony. The Romans renamed it Constantinople, making it the capital of their empire. Then in 1930, it officially became Istanbul. Each name marks a transformation. The streets still carry traces of them all: Roman aqueducts, Byzantine mosaics, Ottoman palaces. Walking here is like time travel, except all the centuries exist at once. Fact 6. The first shopping mall in the world. Long before glass skylights and food courts, there was Istanbul's Grand Bazaar. Built in 1461, it's a labyrinth of over 4,000 shops. Here, shopkeepers don't just sell, they perform. They invite you for tea, spin tales about their carpets, and might bargain for an hour before agreeing on a price. Some families have run the same stalls for generations, passing down trade secrets like heirlooms. Fact 7. Coffee's first European stop. If you're a coffee lover, you owe a debt to Turkey. In the 16th century, coffee arrived here from Yemen and spread into Europe through Ottoman trade routes. Turkish coffee is strong, unfiltered, and served in tiny cups. It's so integral to Turkish culture that it's part of wedding traditions. Brides-to-be serve coffee to their future in-laws, sometimes with a pinch of salt in the groom's cup to test his patience. Fact 8. Tulips came from Turkey. Tulips may be a symbol of the Netherlands, but their story begins in Ottoman Turkey. In the 18th century, Istanbul went through the tulip era, when the flower became a symbol of elegance and refinement. The sultans planted vast tulip gardens, hosted moonlit parties among the blooms, and even had tulip designs woven into fabrics and painted onto tiles. Fact 9. Underground cities of Cappadocia. Under the fairytale landscapes of Cappadocia lies another world entirely. The underground city of Derinkiwe stretches 8 stories deep. It had stables, kitchens, schools, and even wineries, all hidden to protect inhabitants during invasions. You can still walk through its narrow tunnels today, imagining what life was like when entire communities disappeared underground for safety. Fact 10. Istanbul's street cats. In Istanbul, cats aren't just pets. They're part of the city's identity. Stray cats wander in and out of shops, curl up in bookstores, and pose for tourists. Locals leave food and water on the streets for them, believing that kindness to animals brings blessings. There's even a saying here: you don't own a cat in Istanbul, a cat owns you. Fact 11. The first peace treaty in history. Over 3,000 years ago, the Hittites of Anatolia fought the Egyptians at the Battle of Kadesh. Instead of endless war, they did something revolutionary. They signed a peace treaty. That treaty is the oldest known in history, and a copy of it now hangs at the United Nations headquarters. A reminder that even in ancient times, leaders knew that peace could be more powerful than conquest. Fact 12. Mount Ararat and Noah's Ark. Rising from the eastern horizon, Mount Ararat is shrouded in clouds and legend. Many believe this is where Noah's Ark came to rest after the Great Flood. While no definitive proof has been found, locals tell stories of explorers who claim to see wooden remains buried in ice. Whether or not the Ark is there, the mountain's presence is awe-inspiring, standing alone like a giant watching over the land. Fact 13. The Whirling Dervishes. In Konya, the followers of the poet Rumi perform the Semir, or whirling dervish ceremony. Dressed in white robes and tall felt hats, they spin in slow, graceful circles, right hand open to receive from the heavens, left hand turned toward the earth. The dance is a prayer in motion, a meditation on unity with God. Watching it is like being inside a living poem. Fact 14. The world's first Christian church. In Antakya, carved into the side of Mount Stereus, stands the Church of St. Peter. Believed to be the world's first Christian church, it was a meeting place for some of Christianity's earliest followers. Inside, faded frescoes and a simple stone altar carry echoes of prayers whispered nearly 2,000 years ago. Fact 15. Wrestling. Covered in olive oil. In the city of Edirne, one of Turkey's oldest traditions plays out each summer: oil wrestling. Competitors drench themselves in olive oil, making it nearly impossible to grip an opponent. It's a sport of strength, skill, and endurance, dating back over 650 years. The winner earns not just a gold belt, but lasting respect. Fact 16. Ice cream that won't melt easily. In Kahramanmaraş, ice cream isn't just dessert, it's entertainment. Mara's dondurma is thick and chewy, made with orchid root. Vendors love to play tricks, spinning the cone away just as you reach for it, or flipping it upside down without dropping a scoop. And yes, it melts much slower than regular ice cream. Fact 17. Architecture for birds. In Ottoman times, kindness extended even to the skies. Many buildings were constructed with tiny bird palaces, little ornate houses built into the walls to shelter and feed birds. Some are so detailed they look like miniature mosques or palaces, a reminder that compassion was once built into the very architecture. Fact 18. Troy is here. The legendary city of Troy, made famous by Homer's Iliad, stands in modern-day Conakry. Visitors can explore its ruins and see a giant wooden horse, inspired by the one the Greeks supposedly used to enter the city. Standing there, it's easy to imagine the shouts of battle and the clash of swords from a story that has outlived empires. Fact 19. UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Turkey is a living museum with 13 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, from the rock-hewn churches of Cappadocia to the white terraces of Pamukkale. Each site is a different chapter of human history, some natural, some man-made, but all breathtaking. Fact 20. Hospitality as a way of life. In Turkey, hospitality isn't an obligation, it's a joy. Whether you're in a remote village or a busy city, strangers will invite you in for tea, offer you food, and treat you like family. It's a cultural belief that guests bring blessings, and it's one of the reasons visitors often leave Turkey with not just souvenirs, but lifelong friendships. So, which of these surprised you most? That tulips bloomed here first? That Kafka's European journey began in Turkey? Or that the world's oldest temple stands quietly on a Turkish hill? Turkey is more than a country. It's a bridge between worlds, a keeper of ancient secrets, and a living story still being written. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from around the world. And remember, every place has its secrets, but Turkey has an entire library.